All right, let's jump right in. We're going to explore one of the most fundamental, most empowering survival skills a person can learn: how to create fire. I'm not talking about a lighter or a match. We're talking about mastering the ancient art of friction.
So picture this. You're out in the wild. The sun's going down, and that temperature is dropping fast. You've got no modern tools to make a fire, and this isn't just, an inconvenience. This is a real survival problem. So what do? Well, the answer comes from a technique that our ancestors absolutely perfected: the bow drum.
But before we get into the how, it is so important to understand the why. Creating fire in a survival situation, it's about so much more than just staying warm. It is a total game changer that takes care of your most critical needs right then and there. And this quote, man, it just lays out the hierarchy of survival perfectly. And fire? Fire is basically the master key that unlocks almost all of it. I mean, think about it. Fire gives you protection from predators, the smoke can signal your location, and it is absolutely essential for making water safe to drink and your food edible. It really is the central hub of survival. Let's break that down a bit. First up, protection. A crackling fire keeps curious animals at a distance and those biting insects away. Then there's warmth, which is your number one defense against hypothermia, no question. It's also this incredible utility tool. You use it to boil water, making it safe, and to cook food, making it digestible. And you should never, ever underestimate this last one, morale. That psychological boost you get from a fire, that feeling of control and comfort in the dark, that can be the very thing that keeps you going. So, how do we make this life-saving tool? Let's get into the anatomy of the bow drill itself. Now, it might look primitive, but it is an unbelievably efficient little machine. And it's made of 4 key parts that you can literally find in the landscape right around you. Okay, so everything starts with a hearthboard. This is your foundation, and it is critical that it's a dry, softwood. Think cedar or yucca. See, it's soft for a reason. The goal is for the friction to grind this piece away, creating that fine, hot dust that's going to become your ember. This is where the magic really starts to happen. Next up is the engine of the whole operation, the spindle. This is a straight stick of hardwood, like oak. And listen, that part's key. It has to be harder than the hearthboard, so it can drill down and grind away effectively. One end is shaped to a point to maximize friction, and the other end is rounded so it spins smoothly in the socket. That contrast, that difference in hardness, that's what makes the whole system work. The power for all this comes from the bow. You're going to look for a springy green branch that's got a nice gentle curve to it. That resilience is key. Your cordage can be anything from paracord to a sturdy shoelace. You just tie it from one end to the other with just enough tension so you can wrap it once around the spindle. And finally, we have the socket. This is your connection to the drill. You'll hold this piece of hardwood or maybe a smooth stone right in the palm of your hand. Use it to apply all that downward pressure you need to generate that intense, intense heat. It channels all your effort directly into the spindle. All right, we've got our components. We understand what they all do. Now, it's time to put it all together and bring a tiny spark of life into the world. This is where all that knowledge turns into real action. So let's bring this thing to life. First, you carve a small depression in your hearthboard. Then you cut a little V-shaped notch right into that depression. This is super important for collecting all that hot dust. Next, you assemble the drill. Just loop the bowstring once around the spindle. Okay, now get into position. Put the spindle in that little depression, apply that downward pressure with your socket, and just start sawing the bow back and forth with long, smooth strokes. You're looking for smoke first, and then you'll see a little pile of hot black powder building up in that notch. You just keep that rhythm, steady pressure, steady speed, until you see it start to glow. And there it is. Just take a second. This little glowing ember is the entire goal of all that work. It's not a flame yet, not by a long shot, but it is the precious, living heart of your future fire. Everything from this point on requires real care and precision. Creating the ember is the hardest part physically, for sure, but don't start celebrating just yet. These next few steps are actually the most delicate. You have to carefully nurture this fragile little coal and give it exactly what it needs to burst into a self-sustaining flame. Now, your tinder bundle should be ready to go before you even start drilling. A little bird's nest of the finest, driest stuff you can find. Once you have that coal, you gently tap it right into the center of the bundle. Now, carefully fold the tinder around it, bringing that fuel right to the heat. Bring it up close, protect it from the wind, and just blow, gently and steadily. You're breathing life into it. Keep going. until, poof, it bursts into flame. So you've seen the steps. It looks pretty straightforward, right? But I gotta be honest with you. Your first attempt is probably going to fail. And you know what? Your second one might too. This isn't just a simple procedure. It's a true bushcraft skill, and it demands practice to master. And the crucial point here is that success with this is earned. This isn't a recipe you just follow once and get it right. It's a blend of theory and raw physical technique. It requires persistence, especially when your arms are getting tired and it feels like nothing is happening. Trust me, that's where the real learning begins.
You know, this distinction is everything. Knowledge is what you're getting right now. You know the parts, you understand the steps. You can learn all of that from a screen. But skill is developed out there. It's that hands-on feel of the right kind of wood, that intuition for the perfect amount of pressure, the endurance you build through repetition. You can't just read about it. You have to go do it.
So, we've walked through the entire process. The knowledge is now yours. But just remember that huge difference. Knowledge is not skill. So the only question left is, are you going to go out there and turn this knowledge into a true skill? Now, if you do, please practice responsibly. Do it in a safe location where you can control your flame and always leave no trace. Now, go earn it.